Good day, poker peeps. This is Sky with Smart Poker Study, and in this video, I'm going to demonstrate a study strategy with PokerTracker 4. Namely, we're going to be learning from missed opportunities right here. Speaking of studying with PokerTracker 4, make sure you get my free PDF, the 5 PokerTracker 4 strategies every player needs to use. This is going to help you use PokerTracker 4 to improve your game, find your leaks, plug your leaks, turn yourself into the player that you want to be. Link in the description down below. So, why do we want to learn from missed opportunities? Well, reviewing skipped opportunities or missed opportunities, it leads to some really good strategy insights. So in this video, do as you consume. So follow along with me, run the same opportunity filters that you're about to see me run, and of course also save each as a quick filter. We've got 2 sets of opportunity filters, pre-flop and post-flop. Let's start pre-flop. So hit More Filters, Actions and Opportunities, Pre-flop, and then scroll on down to the Pre-flop Opportunities option right here. Now you can see all these opportunities: to limp, to open the pot, to raise limpers, opportunity to steal, all that jazz. The 3 that I use most of the time for myself and for my students is the opportunity to open the pot. You can see that one right here. Opportunity to raise limpers right below it. And then opportunity to 3-bet. That means you're facing somebody's 2-bet right there. Those are the 3 that I recommend that you run. Run each of them individually. Save them as quick filters as well. Right now I'm just going to show you opportunity to raise limpers. Click Add to Filter. Save it as a quick filter, so just give it a simple name. Here's the name I give this one: Raise over limpers opportunity. Tons of hands right here, 789 times where I had the opportunity to raise over limpers. Positive 31.73 big blinds per 100 hands. Now you can see over here, sometimes I fold, sometimes I make the raise. If we scroll down, we might even see some where I raise and then fold. Oh, there's a raise and then re-raise with pocket queens. One hefty little pot right there. But let's pop open this hand. We're going to review this in just a little bit with a few questions that I like to ask when I'm reviewing missed opportunities. Let's look at some post-flop opportunity filters now. We'll hit Clear Filters. And like I said, make sure you save those 3 pre-flop ones. For post-flop, More Filters. Now, there's the C-bet opportunity, donk, float, and raise C-bet opportunities. Those are all done, or those all can be run for the flop, the turn, and the river. I'm just going to show you the flop right now. Actions and opportunities on the flop, but you can find all of these in the same places on the other streets, turn and river. Flop opportunities right here. So it was C-bet, donk, and float. C-bet, donk, float. Run each of those, save them each individually as its own quick filter. And then raise C-bet as well. You have raise opportunities right here, but just below that raise opportunity type, that raise continuation bet opportunity. Now, one important one, the probe opportunity. Probing is you bet out of position when the C-better checks the prior street. So you can only run probe opportunities on turns and rivers. Let me show you that right now. Let's go to Actions and Opportunities, or go back to the initial one, Actions and Opportunities. Go to the turn opportunities. Now, once again, there's the C-bet, the donk, the float, and then there's your probe. Once you run this one, add it to filter. Save it as a quick filter, of course. Save and apply filters. We're going to see right here, opportunity to probe on the turn. Oh, I actually don't have this one saved as a quick filter yet. I'll do that in a little bit. But here's an interesting thing. I haven't had, in the past 5,000 hands, no opportunity to probe on the turn right here. But that's those are the filters that I want you to run and save as quick filters. Now, let's review that hand using our 3 questions as we review it. Alrighty, so here's that king deuce suited hand. Remember, this is a raising over limpers opportunity here, and we're going to run through it just using the arrow keys on my keyboard. So, couple of folds. This player, villain 46, ends up limping in. He's a 17/0, no raising first in yet out of 1 opportunity, and he's called 1 out of 4. So I'm thinking he's a loose, maybe kind of a tight but passive player, especially given the fact that he limped, right? So whenever somebody limps, you have the opportunity to raise over a limpers. You've got to ask yourself, who am I up against? Or if I raise over the limper, who am I going to be up against, right? Well, I'm thinking he is a loose passive player. Like I said, maybe tight passive, but I do have position against him. He hasn't folded on the flop 0 out of 1, but he has folded on the turn. So as a preliminary plan, if I ISO raise him and he calls, I'm probably going to have to plan on double barreling to get him off the hand, assuming I don't hit anything good on the flop right here. Now, whenever you're considering a value bet or a raise, or a bluff bet or a raise, these are great questions to ask. Right now, if I ISO raise, it is a bluff. I would prefer he just fold and I win 2.5 big blinds, right? But I've got to ask myself, can they find a fold? And the answer is yes, absolutely. This player can find a fold. He's in later position. I have position against him right here. He's potentially limping with a very wide range because he's in the cutoff. If I come over the top at 4 or 5 big blinds, he can fold a very good portion of that limping range. Things that he was trying to see the flop with real cheap, like 7-5 suited and Jack-4 suited, maybe. He can fold that kind of stuff, right? Because I'm putting pressure on him and I have that position. So I think absolutely he can find a fold right here. But what do I end up doing? Darn, I end up just folding instead of ISO raising. I think this is a really good spot. If I would have ISO raised, I would have had a limper all to myself. These two players, he's looking passive. He's looking aggressive, but we haven't seen any 3-bets yet in 30 hands. There's a really good chance that he won't 3-bet me from out of position if I make it 5 big blinds right here. My ISO raise to 5 big blinds could have gotten everyone to fold, and I win that 2.5 big blind pot, or get the weakest player, one of the weakest players who limped in, all to myself. I have position. It would be a bread and butter spot. So I really think I missed out on a good opportunity right here. But he calls and checks, and then we see the flop. Now, this would have been a great flop. Had I still been in the hand, even if 1 or 2 of these players called, I would have definitely bluff bet on this flop. Can they find a fold because it would have been as a bluff? Absolutely. If they don't have a queen, they don't have a 9. I mean, they could have Jack-10 for an open-ender or Ace-5 of spades, potentially, for a flush draw. But other than that, people are often scared on these Queen 9-9 boards. They see monsters on the bed. I raised it pre-flop. I easily have Ace-Queen, pocket queens, pocket kings, and aces. I could have gotten tons of folds on this flop right here. Now, another question. We didn't hit this hand, but it's a good idea to ask, what can we potentially get value out of? Can they call with worse? Let's imagine I had ISO raised with 9-10 suited. I would have flopped trips right here. Can these players call with worse? I already mentioned a few hands that could potentially call, assuming they were all in. 10 Jack for an open-ender could call. A couple of spades could easily call. King, Queen, Queen 10, Queen, Jack, all those top pair hands, they could call as well. So there's tons of stuff that I could get value out of. And at the same time, there's this ton of stuff that they're folding. So this is the kind of flop that almost 100% of the time, I am going to c-bet on this kind of wet and paired board right here. So what I recommend is, of course, you've already gone through, because you were doing as you consumed, you've saved all these opportunity filters. Over the next few days, run each of these, review hands where you did not make the play, where you skipped the c-bet, you skipped the raise over a limper opportunity. Review 10 hands, go through and ask yourself these questions. Figure out, would it have been a better opportunity to c-bet, to donk bet, to raise over limpers, to 3-bet? Figure that out for yourself. Take notes on any mistakes that you found, and then work to become a better player and make better decisions in your next session. And as a final reminder right here, make sure you get my free PDF, link in the description below, the 5 PokerTracker 4 study strategies every player needs to use. And this is the 3rd video in this PokerTracker 4 series. The 4th video, click the link right up above.